We have one more speaker before we have a quick afternoon tea, and that is Sarah Young from the University of Canterbury, speaking to the value and future of mission-led science. I would like to welcome Sarah, knowing that as the Executive Dean of Science at Canterbury University, we want to recognise UC as a gold sponsor for Crazy and Ambitious. Tēnā tātou katoa. Please put your hands together for Sarah Young.
Ko tēnā koutou katoa, ko Sarah Young tōku ingoa. I've got the privilege of leading the Faculty of Science at the University of Canterbury. And as most of you are aware, the University of Canterbury has had a long-standing involvement in this New Zealand's Biological Heritage National Science Challenge since its inception. It's a privilege to be here for Bioheritage's fourth and final conference to celebrate our success, our learnings and our growth, and to consider what's next. As has been outlined over the last couple of days, biodiversity and biosecurity research help to sustain a thriving environment, a thriving economy and a thriving society. As we're also well aware, researchers and research programs are often hindered by resourcing, hyper-competition and institutional silos. The National Science Challenges were set up to help overcome this and to accelerate the pathways to translation and impact and influence. New Zealand's and this Biological Heritage National Science Challenge has really been a shining light for how to target scientific endeavour across multiple levels to gain the greatest impact from the science. And in my mind has been the blueprint from which mission-led science should follow. The approach reflects the value chain, the need for discovery and invention to be matched in equal parts by translation, adoption and scale out, and underpinned by innovation at all levels. When we look at this in more detail, I think there's four key attributes of the approach that this the future mission-led research can learn from, and particularly has been observed with this particular science challenge. Firstly, the approach was built on core values that sought to build trust and connection amongst scientists rather than competition. If we're to bring about step change in Aotearoa's science effectiveness, we need a safe, open and inclusive research environment for individuals and organisations. And we strive to do that at the University of Canterbury and really build to seek partnerships with similar like-minded institutions. Secondly, and probably most importantly, the challenge argued that there's no single solution and that we need to get better and faster at going from science discovery to impacts at scale. This is a lesson that needs to be learned across the sector. Mission-led science that targets all levels of scientific endeavour along that value chain will be critical to future success in whatever area we're focused on. Focusing on only one part of the chain is very limiting, and reward and impact assessment systems from government need to match that, and that's a very important point. I think it's been also raised by a number of people over the last couple of days. Thirdly, the challenge involved impact focus and a teams approach. So collaborative teams from diverse organisations bringing innovative approaches, and recognise that translators and communicators were integral to adoption and scale out. In this, there were places for blue skies researchers, interdisciplinary and transdisciplinary researchers, and also facilitators, knowledge brokers, storytellers and coaches, and that implementation involved key end-user operation expertise. The challenge also recognised that we need to nurture, develop and support young scientists, and so it was really important that they were given integral roles, and we've heard about, again, some of the impact and the influence of that over the last couple of days. There are clear lessons here, though, for our research organisations. Scientists need to work in teams, not as individuals, and these teams need to be focused on multi-level impact, and we need to be developing and supporting our young scientists in that way. Finally, the governance and leadership structures implemented reflected the diverse approaches needed all along that value chain. They included a fundamental role for Māori and traditional knowledge and acknowledged the need for excellence and to foster international collaborations. Most importantly, the strategy also included the need for all New Zealanders to be involved. This is probably the ultimate measure of success. How much do we do to change the lives of the citizens, of the communities in which we serve? Ultimately, to be successful, mission-led science needs to bring teams and citizens together to overcome those institutional barriers and to move difficult conversations forward, as this challenge set out to do. This is something that any mission-led science needs to not lose sight of. So universities have a key role to play in this at all levels. The traditional blue skies research role needs to be transformed. That is important not only to contribute to teams at all levels along that value chain, but also to grow the capability needed at all levels along that implementation pathway. This is something that the University of Canterbury is absolutely committed to, as are other universities. This year we've implemented Te Kura-Tarua, a new graduate school with a key focus on researcher development. And in our Faculty of Science, we want to become a trusted partner that works productively across the sector to accelerate the science that we lead. We want to be able to create impact and influence regionally, nationally and internationally to solve those global challenges. And we want to develop the science workforce of the future and to diversify our research partnerships and funding, and certainly to participate in growing that knowledge economy. So creating that ecosystem, and undertaking benefit that really research that really has that benefit to our communities. So in closing, nobody will care for biodiversity of Aotearoa, New Zealand, more than those living, working, researching and studying here. Excuse me. To ensure we build on this passion, we need to invest in all aspects of scientific research that protects Aotearoa, New Zealand's biological heritage. We need to train more scientists, attract more talent, commit to funding research and innovation, and work together for the benefit of Aotearoa, New Zealand, for now and for future generations. Excuse me. So thank you all for all your amazing mahi. You've all played a role in accelerating the pathway to impact and bioheritage research. And let's find a way to continuing this great work together. Nō reira, tēnā koutou katoa.
Kia ora, Sarah, thank you so much for summing up and heading us into the last part of our time together. And just before we do that, we also want to look at the live illustrations that have been coming out of Studio C that can tell us how it has been coming across to you in a visual representation. That's a really good zoom if that's going to work for you, that camera down the back. Feel free to come up a little bit closer as well, whakahohu. So we see here funding, we see te karanga, ngā tuna, beautiful photos here, and also it continues into Tiaki, our Protect talks as well. I believe all of these are available on the app if you have a look at the pictures. Who's having a giggle at yourself? Is it, the bees, which part? Oh, the stripper. Is that the picture you were hoping for? So these are amazing mahi, a beautiful way to remember what has happened over the last couple of days. I see a teddy bear not being blown up, which was the aim as well. Our Tiaki talks as well, Dave's Bees, you get a shout out, put that on your polo shirt, love it, mana wave to that. Okay, so could we all please show our appreciation for Studio C, amazing mahi. And they are available on the app as well, so you can see them. Ka pai. Just to make sure everyone could hear that, so if you'd like to see a fulsome version of your particular talk, then go over to Studio C and you can get a high-res version and maybe be able to have it emailed to you as well. Amazing. Thank you so much. Okay, so just tell you a couple more things before we head off, because it is time for a quick cuppa, and also I want to tell you, though, how that happens, because afternoon tea refreshments at Crazy and Ambitious are sponsored by Bioprotection Aotearoa. Kia ora koutou. tō. Bioprotection Aotearoa fosters an inclusive learning environment that nurtures the growth and success of early career researchers. You are here, aren't you? Early career. You can be 60 years old and be early career, surely. But it encourages you to think differently and guide them along a path of educational and career achievement, a wonderful theme of this afternoon as well. So we would like to extend our gratitude to Bioprotection Aotearoa for their invaluable support and for the kapiti ice creams. So please enjoy ngā ahi krimi. Great news, isn't it? So I'll give us a quick karakia as well. We'll go back to kaiwhare, e rongo homai ngā tipu hei whakakite tinana, hei o ranga, aueke hui e, taeki e, hui e, ahi krimi e, go and enjoy. We'll be back at 3:10. Kia ora.